Hello, this is Benjamin Fulford speaking on October 18th, 2024. There is a big meeting going on in Europe now. The so-called President Biden and the Chancellor of Germany, the British top guy, and other people are all in Europe. And this is no ordinary meeting because we are definitely right now on the precipice of a paradigm shift. And this is something that it's taking time because we're dealing with plans that have been rolling out for literally decades and decades. So, for example, the pandemic was first planned in 1975, and the entire world was headed for this 2030 agenda. So, this long term plan is kind of screeching to a halt, and that's what we're witnessing. That's the big picture. And uh, the results are probably going to be a lot more astounding than everybody realizes. Well, I'll start with some of the immediate news. First of all, uh, I am pleased to report that 32 individuals have been eliminated, and as a result of this, the plan to you attack us with the self-replicating mRNA vaccine bioweapon has been stopped. So that was a major white hat victory. Uh, Now, the other thing, of course, that's happening is we're witnessing the end of Israel and the end of Ukraine and probably the end of the United States as we know it, the current fake system. We'll start with the Ukraine. uh, the Ukrainian military is in a state of complete collapse. They're not fighting, they're fleeing whenever the Russians approach. It's basically game over there. And Zelensky had this big meeting where he basically said, we're going to have to nuke Russia because, and he's constantly rubbing his nose, showing he's a cocaine addict. But the man is head of a group of people that was setting up baby farms, taking organs from wounded soldiers and selling them. Is a satan, and now they're now attacking churches and looting them. This is the kind of people we're dealing with. And when they come to an end, it's going to be something very big. And Zelensky is saying he's facing a war against Russia, Iran, and North Korea. But meanwhile, uh, and North Korea has definitely been on the warpath. They've just inducted 1.4 million youth into their army, and they are, they blew up all the roads leading to South Korea. Of course, they have a huge networks of tunnels that go in there, so there could be a big move there. The Chinese have also shown that they can encircle Taiwan and blockade its ports. So that they did that demonstration, and the Russians and North Koreans are on the border of Europe, so tensions are very high, to say the least. Now, the other thing that's happened is the BRICS payment system has now been unveiled, and again, 159 countries are on board with that. So this is all very paradigm changing stuff. The price of gold is shooting toward $3,000, and we know that the current financial system in the West is based on fraud and will not continue. I'll get back to that later, but let's now turn to Israel. What's happening is that Israel is in violation of United Nations Resolution 273, which is the resolution that basically the international community used to recognize Israel. And that means that Israel is no longer recognized as a state. And that's because they broke the promise they made, which was to treat everybody equally. They've been instead carrying out racist and genocidal policies. So Israel will be replaced by Judea, and all the residents of that region will have equal rights in the new system. So that's coming to an end. They're still attacking UN facilities and stuff, but they cannot do anything about it. Turkey has now asked Russia and Iran to join an alliance against Israel, and I know the U.S. Military, despite what they're saying on the corporate media, is not going to fight to protect a bunch of genocidal religious fanatics. So that's coming to an end. Now, the United States, too, as Field Marshal Douglas McGregor says, it's a uniparty that we're dealing with. Now, I know that he's actually a Colonel Douglas McGregor, or was, but the fact is that in a real meritocratic system, he would have risen to the rank of Field Marshal. But because the top of the Western society is controlled by blackmailed pedophiles, he ran into a glass ceiling. And this is the essence of the problem we're dealing with. And most of the top leaders in the West are blackmailed pedophiles. They have a tape of them murdering a child. There are 1,571 names on Epstein's list. It has been made public. They're trying to scrub it from the internet, but we know who they are. And from a military point of view, rounding them up and rounding up the heads of the Chabad satanic cult is not a very difficult military proposition. And I believe this is underway because they've been trying to kill us, literally. I mean, 1 out of 6 people in Germany is suffering from the side effects of vaccines. In Japan, they murdered 500,000 people with vaccines. This is official government data. These people are trying to kill you and your family. We have a right and a duty to fight them. And this is what's going on. And I keep hearing from the head of CIA in East Asia that the real Donald Trump is in the Shan Mountain base and then he's going to come in with the cavalry. Well, I sure hope that's true, but we know for sure that the actor playing Donald Trump in Mar-a-Lago, who never appears with Melania, has been at the Chabad, leaders' graves and is part of that cult. So we know that we're expecting the real Donald Trump, and we're hoping for that, but it's not something that we can count on. Everybody has to take action, and this is happening. When FEMA came in to try to seize land in North Carolina, they were met with armed militias, and people are now actually getting guns and fighting. It's got to that point. 79% of Americans say the country is going in the wrong direction. And I'll be honest with you, it's not going to be something that can be fixed by a Donald Trump presidency, because the entire financial system is broken and needs to be rebooted. And this includes China, okay? China has reached a complete wall. What it means is that they were taking all their people out of the cities and putting them into cramped apartment buildings. And if you've ever had hamsters, if you put them in a small cage, they don't have children. And the result is population decline. This is happening everywhere where they've gone with this Agenda 2030, which is to take everybody and put them into apartment buildings and then leave the planet sort of green, so-called. Taiwan and South Korea have some of the lowest birth rates on Earth because of this sort of policy. So it's something that requires a complete shift in the paradigm. And what we realize now from years of asking this question is that the current financial system is based on fraud. Literally, bonds created in the 1930s based on fictitious hoards of gold in caves. It's not a real system based on the real planet. And so everything is going to change. And this is what this meeting is partly about. I mean, the immediate meeting in Europe is just about ending the whole Ukraine business. And we also know that Israel, as it is going to be removed. But it's much bigger than that, because we're now learning that, for example, if you look at the funeral of Ethel Kennedy, we saw there, and I've confirmed this multiple times, that most of the people, the bigwigs attending there, are fakes. They had a fake Bill Clinton. You could tell because he was wearing his wristwatch on the wrong hand. Which, they had a fake Pelosi, a fake Governor Newsom, a fake Obama. Hillary didn't show up. But the point is that we have actors playing roles in some kind of movie script that is substituting for an actual democracy or republic where the people select their leaders. This is now some, script writers hiding behind the scenes, carrying out, reality TV drama, and that's not the system of government we want to have, and it's not going to continue. And we're also finding out now that we have a fake calendar, fake history, all sorts of technology has been suppressed. So, this is going to be very, very big, and a critical mass of people has woken up. So people are now aware that they use weather warfare, and that only rich people's houses weren't damaged in Florida or in Hawaii. And we know who these people are. I mean, BlackRock and State Street have physical addresses. They have leaders. You cannot stop arrests or assassination with a weather weapon, Larry Fink. You're a mass murderer, and you will pay the price for mass murder. This is true of many of these people. So we are definitely at an inflection point, and I don't know what the timing is, but obviously the big BRICS meeting in October 22nd is kind of a deadline for the West. We need to, the collective West needs to reach a deal with the rest of the world, which is basically what the BRICS is now, and we need to agree to revamp everything. And the alternative is for the West to hide behind huge tariff barriers and shrink into insignificance and backwater status. That's the choice we face now. So we cannot tweak the current system. It has to be completely revamped. And I'm also hearing NASA has just announced a solar storm is coming and that they could shut the internet for weeks. I don't know if that's an attempt by the Black Hats to stop the truth from spreading or something else, but that's something to watch out for. But in any case, we're definitely heading for some very, very fundamental change. I won't be exact on the timing, because we're dealing with something that's been going not only for tens of years, but centuries, possibly even millennia. So, I won't tell you it's going to change. It's going to end, hopefully sooner rather than later, but we're definitely heading for a new paradigm, and I'm sure that we can all make it a much better paradigm. Okay, well, that's what I have to say for myself today. So now I'd like to answer questions from readers and viewers.